Hey everyone, this is Lynette Bledsoe from LynetteBledsoe.net, and I'm coming to you live from my home office here in San Antonio, Texas. And I kind of wanted to touch base a little bit more on what I spoke about yesterday, about speaking with your spouse. And as you're coming along, just give me a shout out, say hey, tell me where you're coming from. Appreciate you guys on here. All right, so one of the questions that my husband and I get all the time is, how the heck do you guys work together? We've been working together since 1999, but we've been making adjustments on that. In the very beginning, as I spoke yesterday, I wasn't really involved at all. I worked in the back end, more so doing the administrative stuff, following up with leads, sending back in the day happy birthday cards. That was before email mails and things like that were so popular. My job would have been much easier right now. But sending emails, just saying happy birthday, happy anniversary, if they were on the books with us for more than a year, things like that. So I was doing that part. My husband was doing more so of the speaking and I guess motivating the team and things like that. So I have three things for you guys. If you're trying to figure out how you can work with your spouse in your business. And when I say work with your spouse, it doesn't mean that the other person actually has to be involved in the business. So one tip I can tell you guys is to make sure that, for one, you're respecting each other's roles. So again, you both don't have to be active in the business because, like I said in the very beginning, I wasn't active. My role in our business building was watching the children because they were too young. So I would take care of the children. So that was a sacrifice I did so that he can go out there and either attend a weekly meeting, maybe sign up a new person, or hey, Carol, and maybe sign up a new person, maybe help a teammate sign up a new customer, or whatever the case may be. I stayed home with the children in the very beginning because they were so young. Even though we have older, I have a 21-year-old, so now we're repeating that role again because we have smaller kids, but respecting each other's roles. So if you have a spouse or a significant other who is not maybe active in your business, but when you go out there and you go to a meeting, and when you go out there and you sign a new rep up or a new customer up, and they're home watching those kids, and they're home watching, making dinner, appreciate that, because that's the role in your business that they're doing. They don't have to be active in your business, but that's the role that's allowing you maybe to go sign up. Not saying that they're giving you permission. I'm just saying that by them watching you don't have to pay anyone to watch your kids. They're helping you in building your business. So respect that role because that's what they can do. Let's say if they do want to become more involved in your business, just start small. Find out what their strengths are. If their strengths are, like I said, following up with leads, maybe seeing if anybody needs any help on the team, just so that you can know, maybe answering your emails. I know with us, my emails can go from 0 emails to 50 emails in a day. So it can get pretty crazy. If their role to help you do one less thing in your business is just answering emails, then respect that. That's their strength for right now. As time goes on and maybe they begin to see exactly what you do and want to learn exactly what you do because it's stress-free, maybe they can get involved in some other aspects of the business. But in the very beginning, just respect each other and what each other can do. So that was number one. So respect each other's roles. Then number two, and this is a big one because I was guilty of it, don't talk business all the time. And I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to me too. Sometimes, hey Colette, thank you for joining. Sometimes, I know if you're like me, you're thinking business, business, business all the time, right? Sometimes you can't turn that mindset off because there's always something maybe that you want to adjust, or something that you just saw that you maybe want to implement in your blog or implement in a video. So if I'm talking to myself too, I'm telling you, sometimes you have to make sure that you're scheduling date nights or family nights out, just using an example, and leave one of the big things too. See, Colette agrees. One of the big things too is maybe just leave the phone at home. Especially like for us, we do, because we have no we have no family here in San Antonio, not friends, but we have no family here in San Antonio, so we just don't leave. Hey Samantha, thanks for joining. We don't have family here in San Antonio, so whenever we do something, it's always a family affair. So it's always the whole Bledsoe clan that does something. So you always see us all over the place. So when we have the kids, yeah, we will take a photo of us out and maybe post it on Facebook. But in a sense, that phone does go away. It doesn't stay involved with when, you want to focus on them, because you only have 18 summers. My husband always says that all the time. You only have 18 summers with your children. So you want to make sure that you spend as much time as you can while they're gone, while they're small, because one day, and we can testify to this because I have a 21-year-old. They'll become a teenager, and it's, in a sense, sometimes not even 18 summers that you have with them. Sometimes it's actually 15 or 16, because once they become teenagers, they kind of don't want to do that family stuff anymore. So you kind of lose them at that point. But so spend time, focus on them. The business isn't going anywhere. It'll still be there when they get older. So that was number 2. Don't talk business all the time. Number 3, make sure that you're rewarding yourself. So just using an example, last month, most of you guys know if you're following us, we headed over to Florida to attend Ray and Jessica Higdon's prospect and recruiting event, right? We took our kids, as many of you guys know, we took our kids with us. They were there with us. They sacrificed, I think it was like 3 days in the hotel room while we were downstairs meeting, and they're older. So they were able to hang out. Believe me, they were not bored. They hung out in the hotel room while we were downstairs in the meeting. But we rewarded them for that 3-day sacrifice, because we ended up going to the hotel, I think 2 days prior to the meeting. And then we stayed an entire week after that meeting, because we wanted them, because they were sacrificing that time away from us for being bored in a hotel room, even though, like I said, they weren't, because it was huge. We made sure that we had time set aside so that they can do activities, and they can just hang out in the pool and do whatever they want and just go out to dinner and stuff like that. So we made sure that because of that 3-day sacrifice, they were rewarded back. And they had never been to, I think it was Sanibel Island. That's where we went in Florida. We had never been there. So we wanted to just be tourists with them, just focus 100% on them. While most of the most of the attendees of that event were totally gone. So there was no interruption. It was just 100% focus on them. So just make sure that you're rewarding yourself, because you worked so hard. And that was a rest for us. We worked so hard. You don't want to, even though that event was like totally changing, it was like an event changing experience, because we learned so much, but you still have to just rest your mind and make sure that you're rewarding yourself for just all the hard work that you're doing. So that was number 3. Make sure that you're rewarding yourself. And our good friend, tomorrow is actually, if you kind of want to dive deeper in that, I know for the last 2 days I've been kind of trying to give you guys some tips on how we work the business together. But let's say if your spouse doesn't support you, right? How can you get them to adjust that mindset and help them? They don't have, like I said, they don't have to be 100% involved, because if you saw that video I did yesterday, my first date was an opportunity meeting. So let's just say I was that non-supportive spouse. That wasn't cool. He's lucky he's here right now. So that wasn't a good experience for me. So you kind of don't want to do that. You don't want that first experience to be just surprise, here's an opportunity meeting. So how can you get that supportive spouse who's maybe kind of annoyed that you're always out doing businesses? How can you flip the switch and get them to actually support your business, even though they're not 100% involved? Or how can you get them more involved in your business? Well, tomorrow night, our friend Steve is actually going to be hosting a webinar sharing how he got his wife, or how they adjusted their mindset to kind of support each other and what each other's goals are and what they want to do. So you can join us tomorrow night, and I'll post a link below, but you can head over to Bledsoe's free training webinar and register for tomorrow night's event. But if you're struggling with that, and believe me, I was the unsupportive spouse, so I'm not going to say that everything was awesome, we worked together, everything's awesome. No, In the very beginning, I was the unsupportive person. I was annoyed by those weekly meetings. So I was the person that was super negative. But as I showed you yesterday, sometimes you got to show the money to your spouse. So for me, that's what did it. And actually for me, hearing the success stories of other couples working together is what did it for me to flip that switch. Because I was like, you know what? If they can do it, they look like us. You know, I'm from the Brooklyn. My husband's from the Bronx. If they grew up like us, you know, there's nothing special in anyone. Anyone can be successful in this industry. You just got to work together and just do it, basically. And Samantha, yeah, we'll see you there. So yeah, if you want to dive deeper into that, maybe they can share, maybe my story, because we work together full time. Maybe that doesn't resonate with you, but maybe you have a spouse, like I said in the very beginning, who's super negative like I was, is not trying to hear anything that you're trying, is not trying to hear your business at all. When you walk in the door, when you say I have an appointment, they're super annoyed. Believe me, I'm telling you, it was me. It was me. It was me. It was me. If they're super annoyed by your company, maybe actually this is an idea. Because like I told you, a big event for me, a Super Saturday, is what changed it for me. Maybe this webinar, if you can get them to watch this webinar, or you can kind of, and I'm laughing at this, you can kind of trick them. Maybe have the laptop on speaker and just let it play. Maybe something that this couple tomorrow says, maybe finally lights a light bulb in your spouse's head. Maybe they share something that, you know, maybe I haven't given you a tip, but maybe tomorrow night, something that they say can help flip the switch on your spouse. So, because it's super important. Remember, if two people are not working together, eventually it just doesn't work. Either the business is not going to work, or the marriage is not going to work, or the partnership is not going to work. So something does have to change. Something has to change. So someone has to change, or something has to change. So make sure you join us tomorrow night. And if you have a different tip, thank you, Colette. Maybe you have a different tip that I didn't share these last 2 days. Feel free to post it below. If you got value from this, I'd love to hear you guys. If you think you need to tag your significant spouse, you can. Maybe not, but just like I said, you don't want to just throw stuff at them. But definitely make sure that you register for tomorrow night's webinar. Our friend Steve is going to share some awesome tips that him and his spouse Danielle work together, and maybe that can be just a change in the nugget that you needed to help get your spouse to help being, like I said, if they're watching the kids, if they're doing anything, that's helping you build the business. So just celebrate everything that they help you and support. See you guys tomorrow night. I hope this brought value for you. See you guys at the top. Enjoy the rest of your what is today? Today's Tuesday. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. It's what happens when you work from home. Have a great day, guys.